It's the autumn, otherwise known as the fall, and everything that falls to the ground can be used for crafting. Well, almost everything. If this is your first time tuning in, every month I like to show off kind of what I've collected for the month, and then we do a little build at the end together, kind of a speed build, just featuring some of these various parts. So let's jump into it. Lids. This candle lid, it's kind of cool. I think it'll make a nice scenic base. This could be a cool mosaic type base for some sort of larger scenic build. Pretty cool. It's some kind of metal. These very interesting geometric coffee lids. I'm not sure what the brand is, but very cool. They are octagonal, but they have offset internal octagons to make them have this kind of cool diamond look on the top, or like a gem. Nice as like a foundation of a pillar or some other larger structure. Got this jumbo Kinder Surprise. No, just kidding. This is completely safe for all countries. This half egg with a little dimple. Could be kind of cool as the top of like a tower or turret. Lookout with like for a lighthouse maybe, or like a telescope coming out of here. Who knows? Just a neat little piece. Not sponsored, but this beverage lid is kind of a cool plastic. It's hard to show it without showing the brand name. We'll turn it upside down. It's kind of like a nice plinth. How do you say that? Plinth. A stand that a statue can go on. Be kind of cool for that. It's got a little bit of texture and it's slightly tapered. Pretty nice chunk there. Prescription lids, pretty boring, but you can pop out the inside, and they've got this nice, kind of like this big hubcap type thing. Get a little bit of that extra detail and this recessed line around it. So, always check inside of plastic lids. You never know what you might find. Case in point, this, okay, also not sponsored. This plastic insert here, you can extract it. Please hold. There we go. This unbranded insert has a really cool pattern on it. Usually they'll have some kind of cool pattern. And then it has this open-ended cylinder thing, which could be, you could use it this way as the opening of something like a smokestack or a pipe coming off of a wall or who knows what. Or this way as like a cool sewer grate. Yeah, pretty nice. So always check the inside of aluminum lids. You might find a cool little piece like that, or maybe even better. This one's nice. It's like a jumbo-sized dish detergent lid. Kind of looks like a very heavy tank hatch, but it could have other applications. Just kind of nice to find something that's a sort of a strange scale, a little bit out of the ordinary. I really like finding stuff like this because like the inside of all these plastic lids and tubes are sort of thin like this, which doesn't always look in scale. And sometimes I'll even add something in to imply that it's like made of a thicker material. But when you got the opening with a nice thin rim around it like this, you just kind of have this as the external facing, and then suddenly it does look appropriate for the scale as like a big thick pipe or a gun barrel or something like that. So cool. And here's the threaded or ridged version of that. I don't think I've ever seen these before. They're like coaxial cable cappers or something. They're meant to like close off your cable plugs to keep your interference down or whatnot, but they're just kind of cool little metal knobs. These are, I think they're like takeaway butter tubs. They have like a little bit of whipped butter in them. They're kind of a flimsy material, but if you could reinforce them, they do have a nice amount of detail up on the surface. So, could certainly be applied, especially in terrain. And if it's somewhere a little bit out of the way where it's not going to get squished or dinged and it will lose its paint and form and that sort of stuff. Another Kinder Surprise egg. I think this was some sort of lip balm, but it has a really cool plastic grate inside of it. A lot of prescription jars have this locking lid, which ends up giving you these cool little ridges or hook pieces. I got this defeated Fitbit. It finally recorded its last step. I'm not sure how to take it apart, so not exactly sure what I might use it for. What do you folks think? What would be a good use for this? Leave me a comment and let me know what you might use this. It's like a slightly curved This part's all rounded and this part's like got sharp geometric edges. Old Fitbit that is now deceased. What do you think? Got these aftermarket straps from the Fitbit, and these are quite cool. Nice little attachment points. They're all metal, and these could be used as like toes or even like shoulder armor if the chain parts are removed. The chain links themselves, not sure. You might think that you could use them as like a caterpillar track, but the spacing is a little bit weird. They could possibly be incorporated into something like that, but you'd have to kind of expand on them. Same thing with the epic bling bling version. Could be some form of tank tread, although you'd probably modify it to add some like individual slats or tracks onto it. Here's some texture I captured from the bottom of a container. I thought it was this cool square waffle shape. Somebody asked me if I ever collect textures, and I guess I do occasionally. These are, again, kind of like a weird, shiny, flimsy plastic, but if they were tucked away in the background of some sort of build where they're not going to get a lot of exposure, where the paint could get rubbed off or they could get bent out of shape or dented, they're pretty cool. A lot of like cookie and biscuit containers have this type of pattern. It's usually a lot smaller or finer, so finding this big chunky stuff was pretty cool. I got some various packaging stuff here. I'm not sure what this is from, but it's really cool. I think it looks just like, bow! Is that a Necron symbol? Who knows? Pretty cool. Doesn't have a ton of detail, but if this was like sort of sunken into the floor, just to give you a little bit of a 3D element, or like the base of a large creature, that could be pretty cool. Plastic hanger thing, just got like prefab bunker windows. I thought these were pretty cool. These are like the twist tie attachment points in the toy packaging. I don't remember them ever being so complex and cool, but yeah, definitely pretty awesome just for the junk packaging. They have a lot of different layers and ridges and openings, so I was pretty happy to get those. Apparently this is what pizza tables look like now. I remember them being round, like a little miniature table to hold the box from squishing into your pizza, but now they're triangular and they have these cool reinforcements, so nice little find of detailed plastic. I'm sure that'll have some good use. The reason I saved this one is, compared to some of the larger containers, this one doesn't have as much just plain, flat, boring real estate. Right away it curves into this different shape. It tapers down into the actual tape holding section. It's got like a little ridge around the outside, and I think it's made of a little bit thicker plastic as well. It's official Scotch tape. Again, not sponsored, but hey, Scotch tape, the holiday season is coming up. You could hook me up with some tape. I wouldn't mind for all my gift wrapping. Anyway, kind of a cool piece. This could be like a jet engine or something. I used them as a shoulder piece in my Orc Gargant, although I used the bigger style ones. So maybe this could be in a smaller Gargant, who knows? Who am I kidding? Why would you build a smaller Gargant? Here's some found stuff. I don't know what this little cap thing is from, but it just has that kind of look that is appealing to me. It could be like a little dreadnought toe or something, slightly rounded top. It could also be a hatch on like a Tau vehicle, perhaps. This might be some sort of car accessory mount, but made of an awesome thick plastic. It's got like a little vent in it, and nicely tapered down. It even has this kind of cast texture on it, so easy pickup, easy inclusion in some sort of sci-fi terrain build, auto include. More sprinkler pieces. I feel like these must just get hit by landscapers and they go flying off out into the beyond, and then eventually they come by and just replace them. This I found in the middle of a giant abandoned parking lot, just in like a brush pile with a bunch of sticks. So I can't even imagine where it came from. But this one's cool because it's actually short, so that means the sort of boring cylinder part terminates more quickly. This would be just like boom, instant blast weapon on a large sized Titan or like a huge terrain piece, like a gun emplacement. So yeah, really nice detail around the tapered or the step down with the cylinder and these different fins. Pretty cool. Got some miscellaneous toys. This little Cybershot Frisbee just has a nice ridged detail inside. Plastic window, which would just make a really nice grating. Cool little plastic chain. I wish I had more of this, but it's got a nice fine level of detail. This is kind of a funny one, this little muffin tray. It is cool to have a little set of 6 cylinders like this, and even the muffin side is kind of interesting, these little rounded domes. But yeah, not too sure what I would use that for yet. That's another one. What does everyone think? What would you use this little muffin tray in? Or what do you think I should try to use this little muffin tray in? Let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll find a way to incorporate this into a future project. Classic sci-fi tubing, aka guitar strings. I know technically the bass is superior and the strongest instrument, which also has thicker and better strings, but a friend of mine gave me this bundle, so I'll definitely make use of these. So I live near a sort of desolate construction wasteland, and I found quite a bit of scattered debris, which has been cast aside as litter. I found these epic Neo sunglasses for when you want to dodge bullets and wear a trench coat. So pretty cool. Same as the heart-shaped sunglasses I found at one point. The individual lenses, I think, would make potentially kind of a cool curved plastic panel, or sorry, curved armor panel, that sort of thing. So this was definitely a good pickup. I found the shattered ruins of this piping, but I think it actually has a lot of pretty cool detail in there. This could be like a window, and there's these support ridge things. Yeah, very nice. Unfortunately, the pieces are kind of small, but I got kind of a range of them. And then there's also this ridged piping as well. So I'd have to cut it down to a decent size, but kind of cool pickup. And then this was a great one. This giant reticulated or ringed tube. This is like a upscaled version of that cable protector stuff. But the reason this is so cool is, number one, the rings around it, they're actually like a set of parallel rings. It's not a spiral. So you can actually cut a little section of this if you wanted to have just like a little snippet of detail. Very nice. And it doesn't have a seam, so it doesn't split open. So if you were to bend this, it doesn't pop open and rotate the same way those cable protectors do. So it seems pretty tough, but I think I could probably hack it down into some very interesting pieces. It's got, even each individual ring has a ridge of detail in it, so that was a very nice find, if I do say so myself. Okay, so we've seen this stuff, that's great. Obviously there's still not that much going on, there's no garage sales and that sort of thing, but that's fine. Now let's take a little bit of junk and build something. Sorry I didn't build anything last month, but that's fine. It's done now. And it's narration time. This speed build is brought to you by my patrons. If you want to join in on some behind-the-scenes previews, epic hobby chat, and voting, then head over and check out my Patreon. For this build, I wanted to make a little Necromunda vignette. So I used a chunk of that nifty pipe along with what I would consider to be the absolute worst type of styrofoam packing, but I figured I could make it work. I made a few round things using that construction tubing and some other round plastic junk. I used some cardstock from Candy Packaging to add some reinforcement. I used more cardstock to create a more seamless transition between what would be metal and concrete. Obviously I had a lot of gaps that needed immediate spackle treatment. I was able to use this nice acrylic paste to stipple on a nifty texture. Mod Podge coating to seal in the bad styrofoam, and while I'm adding glue, let's sprinkle in some sand and grit. After a quick prime, it was time to use the weird dark green color that seems to work nicely for Necromunda terrain. Some blue and tan tones and kind of a black wash for the concrete. Oh, mandatory caution stripes. I apply many washes to suitably grime up this grimdark wall. And yeah, there we go. Not bad for a speed build made from trash, but what do you think? Leave me a comment and let me know what you thought of the haul and of the build. If you are new here and you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. That way you won't miss out on my actual build projects. And so, I will see you in the next one.